We know reps are important to unions because it's you, I'm guessing most of you, if not all of you, are union reps. It's you who deliver the benefits of trade union membership in their most practical form for your members. It's what you do every day of the week for your members that has the biggest impact on how they rate the relevance and the effectiveness of their union. You've got a great general secretary, but the fact is, what makes people think ATL is any good is your performance representing them individually and collectively in the workplace. In fact, you represent what I think should be considered the trade union movement's unique selling point. That idea of workers or colleagues, however you want to call yourselves, coming together and representing and supporting each other individually, collectively, but crucially independent of the employer. The work that you do, whether it's representing people in personal cases, grievance and disciplinaries, whether you're a health and safety rep, a union learning rep, an equality rep, a green rep, whatever you are, it's what you do that makes the difference between the union being just another third-party provider of information and advice, almost like a provider of workplace insurance. It's the difference between that and an organisation rooted in the workplace, that because of that, when it speaks for and on behalf of and with members, does so with real power and real legitimacy. You're also an important financial resource to your union, but you won't appear on any union balance sheet, you won't appear in the statement of accounts, and you'll rarely hear a union treasurer mention you in their report. But without you, the union wouldn't operate. The time that you give, both paid release and in your own time, is absolutely essential to making the union work effectively. But as I hinted at just a few moments ago, what you do doesn't just help members. One of the best kept secrets, and there's a malign reason for that, one of the best kept secrets in this country in the area of industrial relations is the benefits of the work that you do for employers. A review of facility time carried out by BIS in 2007, which was part of a wider review of the ACAS Code of Practice, found that during no small part of the work of union reps, between 372 million and 977 million pounds was saved by employers and the taxpayer, of which we can all include ourselves in that group, as a result of the work that you do in lowering dismissal rates, reducing people leaving and therefore reducing recruitment costs, and improving workplace health and safety. Now, this current government, with its apparent love of the volunteering spirit, you would expect them to single out any other group of volunteers, because remember, that's what you are. No one makes you do what you do. You're not compelled. You're not forced to do it. They would laud any other group of volunteers, particularly those who had such a positive impact for individuals, groups of workers and employers. And of course, union reps, particularly those in the public sector, have been singled out, but sadly it's not been for praise. What they've been singled out for is what can only really be described accurately as a sustained, ideologically motivated attack by the political right. We can draw a line from the Taxpayers Alliance and their dodgy dossiers claiming to reveal the cost of facility time to the taxpayer. That's us. Quite widely, how do you differentiate between you as union reps and taxpayers? They'll probably disappear into kind of a vortex of kind of self-hatred. To the establishment of a deceptively named trade union reform campaign, which is essentially a front group for anti-union conservative backbenchers, and a recent Cabinet Office consultation on facility time in the civil service, which shamefully, even though it was a consultation between unions and the Cabinet Office, accepted evidence from the Taxpayers Alliance and the Trade Union Reform Campaign. And it's no surprise, is it, colleagues, that the results of that review recommended that the budget for facility time in the civil service should be cut by half. Now, there's every likelihood as well that this attack will be rolled out across the rest of the public sector. We've already had the rather unattractive sight of an overexcited Eric Pickles falling over himself to launch a similar attack on reps in local authorities. And it's hard not to imagine your own Secretary of State getting similarly enthused about facility time for teachers. The problem with this attack on reps is that, as well as delegitimising and even stigmatising the role that you do, it's going to deprive employers of a valuable workplace resource and of course result in workplaces that are less fair. And the irony of this is that, absent from the attacks, and notably about this, is that the absence of from the attacks on paid time off for reps has been the voice of employers. And why is that? Because they know the value of the work that you do. They know that the vast majority of union reps, when they're on paid release, are now campaigning for the Labour Party, because most of the time they're sitting in the same room as you, negotiating and working through problems that come up every day in the workplace. A few years ago, when the environment was a little bit less turbulent, the CBI and employers were quite happy to demonstrate their support for union reps, and even published a pamphlet with the TUC called Reps in Action. It's available online. Just type TUC Reps in Action into Google and it will come up. It contains loads of great case studies about the work of reps and really positive supporting statements from the CBI. Unfortunately, times have changed, but if we can persuade the CBI to revert to that kind of real world kind of narrative and spend less time trying to redraw the basic principles of democracy when it comes to industrial action and recognition ballots, and focus again on supporting a resource that they know increases workplace efficiency, productivity, fairness and general well-being, then we might just succeed in fending off the attacks from the Taxpayers Alliance and other right-wing fringe groups, and preserve for our members, workers in general and employers this valuable resource. Colleagues, I'm proud of the efforts of our unions and the TUC over the last year or so to push back against this attack. I think we've succeeded in one respect, that we've managed to expose it for what it is, essentially a thinly disguised union busting exercise. But it's clear that this on its own won't be enough, and we have a collective responsibility in unions and the TUC to give you the tools that you need to defend your right to represent your members. Now, obviously, all of our unions will have their own approaches to this and will produce their own resources, but just last week we made our small contribution by launching a new online resource that contains most, if not everything, you need to defend, preserve and potentially even increase the resources you have to deliver for your members. You can get this online. It's at www.tuceducation.org.uk/facility time. Now, colleagues, just to conclude, we know that where there are union reps, workplaces are fairer, and it's also true that in countries where unions are stronger, by having higher density and higher membership, society is often fairer as well. Every day you make a difference to the lives of your members. Every day the work that you do brings real value, and I'd even say meaning, to the union card that your members carry. As we seek to preserve the ability to make a difference to the lives of our members and working people, we should take heart from the fact that our members and even employers recognise the value of the work that you do. We should take heart and we should have confidence. We should have the confidence to stand up for who we are and what we do. We have confidence to push back against the dishonesty and the malign intent of our opponents, and we should keep the confidence in representing, speaking up for and campaigning with our members for stronger unions and fairer workplaces. Thanks very much.